Today I've got 3 tools for you to use when you are experiencing an emotional outburst, a trigger response, a trauma response, or your body has gone into survival mode. So survival mode is when our brains detect a threat or perceive a threat, and it instantly and automatically signals our bodies to go into survival mode, which is when your body prepares for fight, flight, or freeze in order to protect you. So when you detect a threat, when your brain detects a threat or it thinks it's in danger, or you're really scared and your heart rate increases and your vision narrows and your hearing heightens and your body is drawing energy from everywhere, it's to keep you alive. Your brain's one and only job becomes to keep you alive. And so it does that by drawing energy from all the non-essential systems, which unfortunately happens to be your digestive system, your immune system, your circulatory system, your healing, your elimination of waste. All of those healing parts of your body get put on hold in order to survive the threat, or what you think is the threat, the danger, at that time. When your body detects a threat, either a real threat or you've been triggered, your brain actually takes you back to feeling like you're in that moment. You're actually experiencing the trauma. So that can be a really difficult thing when you are, just walking down the street, you're at the shops, even when you're at home, when you're at work, if you're out with someone, if you smell something, hear something, if you are triggered by something that someone does, or you see someone that looks like somebody who has caused you harm, your brain and body will be taken back to when that threat was happening, to the moment that you were experiencing that danger, that fear, that anxiety, or the strong emotion. So your body doesn't know the difference between I am safe now and I wasn't safe back then, and it feels like it's back there. That's where the emotions and the strong reactions come from. So when your breathing is rapid, when your heart rate is rapid, when you're in survival mode and you're preparing to, fight, flight, or freeze, when you have an intense emotional response like sadness, anger, confusion, rejection, abandonment, the first thing you can do is switch up the internal feeling for an external feeling. And what that means is you can use a sponge or a loofah to actually physically rub along your skin to switch that from an internal feeling to the external feeling that you're feeling on your skin. You may have heard people that use rubber bands to flick themselves in order to not do a particular behavior, to distract themselves. It's the physical feeling of something on your skin which detracts away from the internal feeling of sadness, anger, rejection, abandonment, trauma, worthlessness, helplessness. And that's where a lot of self-harm does come in, because people do get a physical release from the emotion that they're feeling. And that is why, because you're counteracting an internal feeling with an external motion that you're doing. And I keep rubbing my hand, I don't know if you can see, because I'm just demonstrating there. So safer option is to use a loofah or even a sponge, just to recreate the external feeling to shift from the internal feeling. Second one is a shift in identifying what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. I think 2 of the most important questions that we can ask ourselves are, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? And it's really important for victim survivors to really identify what they are feeling. It is one thing to just feel an emotion, but what are you feeling? Where does that come from? Is it anger? Is it hurt? Is it pain? Is it rejection? Is it I've experienced this before and something happened, my body feels like I'm being threatened again? What is the feeling? You can really revolutionize your healing journey by asking yourself, what am I feeling and where am I feeling it? Generally, you will feel those what's termed negative emotions either in your chest or in your gut, because that's just where they seem to pop up. And there's a science behind it, but not the scope of this video. So say we're feeling it in our chest. I want you to say, what am I feeling? And you can identify either the emotion that you're feeling or what it is behind that, and where am I feeling it? So if you're feeling it in your chest, then you look at what is it actually like? So how big is it? What's the shape of the feeling? And these sound a little bit strange, but they work. What's the shape? What color is it? And then I want you to, when you've identified where it is, how big it is, the shape of it, the color of it, whether it's heavy, whether it's big, large, whether it's got a sound to it, whether it's got any other feelings to it, I want you then to change those. So for example, if I'm feeling it here in my chest and it's about this big, because I've got my two hands over here, and it's gray, I can change the color to gold or a light blue or a pure white color, and I can shrink it smaller, and I can, even if I want to, just pretend I'm getting rid of it over there. And it really works. So what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? Identify what it feels like, what it looks like, what color it is, and then change those. There's a science behind it. It distracts you from what you are feeling, that heavy feeling. Number 3 is a tapping technique, and EFT is really, it's a somewhat new modality that I know a little bit about, not a lot. But EFT, there's a lot of free YouTube resources out there, and I have found through a teacher that I studied hypnosis with, a midline tapping technique, which is just really easy, really straightforward. There's only 5 points, and it's really easy to remember. With some of the other EFT techniques, they do use corner of the eyebrow and next to the eye and under the eye, and there's a sequence. This one is just a really straightforward down the center midline, and it starts at the top of the head. This is the Chinese point for anxiety. So if you identify that you're feeling a really strong feeling, what is that out of 10? 1 being that, it's all good. 10 being, I really can't cope with this at all right now. Feel that feeling and start tapping. So we just tap a couple of times on the top of the head, then a couple of times on the forehead, under the nose, just tapping a couple of times, and you can do it with me now. Under the chin, tapping, and then tap in the center of the chest, and then take a deep breath in and out, and you can say peace or let it go or breathe or any other word that resonates with you, and then notice where that level is that you're feeling it out of 10. It will have dropped a few points. If you're still above, 2 or 3, go again. Tap again, and it's just 5 points straight down the center of your body, just to reduce the severity of the feeling and the emotion, and to the center of the chest, and then breathe in and breathe out. And you can say your word, peace, breathe, let it go, whatever resonates with you. And you'll probably notice that I'm actually speaking slower now because I've just run through some of those as well. And you'll notice that it works. It is a skill to practice over and over again when you find yourself in an emotional outburst, when you have a really, really strong, heavy feeling inside that, is just really quite there, and you're just not sure what to do with. Those are practical tips that you can do instantly to get a result instantly. And the purpose of breathing in and out is when we detect a threat or we are in danger and our breathing becomes quicker, becomes more rapid, our brains and bodies know that we are trying to survive a threat, or we're trying to protect ourselves from danger. So it draws all the energy from all non-essential systems, and it brings it all into, faster heart rate, to blood pumping from the extremities to where it's needed, Its whole purpose is, how am I going to survive this danger? When we breathe slowly, slow, deep belly breathing, our brains and bodies know that we are not in survival mode, because we cannot sit with danger, with a threat of harm, and be able to breathe slowly. So when you breathe slowly, you reset your nervous system. 3 tools. So very strong internal feeling, counteract that with an external feeling by using a loofah, a sponge, an exfoliating scrub, even like scratching along your, not to cause an injury, but just that physical sensation to counteract the internal feeling. 2 most important questions when you're feeling any kind of way: what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? And then shift those, the color, the size, the shape, the heaviness of it, even remove it from your body. Just treat it like it's energy. And the midline tapping technique: head, forehead, under the nose, under the chin, center of the chest, breathe in and out, let it go. And those 3 tools, if you practice them whenever you're feeling any kind of way, it will become automatic, subconscious, to just really identify those feelings and be able to shift them. Use them, they work. I've taught them to my children. I use them. I teach them to my clients. They work. You are significant because you are, and I love you because you exist.